Hi everyone, it is Dr. Domingo. I hope you are doing well. As promised, I would go ahead and create this video for you for your third assignment. I hope this is helpful. I know after the second video I created for your second assignment, that was helpful as well. I saw some great writing on your papers, and so I wanted to do the same thing and provide this little short video on tips, things to think about as you prepare your final paper, which is due this Sunday. So here we go. In this class, what we'll be doing here, just in this video, is look back, first of all, over the past 9.5 weeks, and think about this question: what is developing leaders of the future? I want to look at right now, which is specifically your plan, which is your paper to develop leaders of the future. And finally, looking at the future, what does it mean to move ahead with developing leaders of the future? I love this quote because when you first saw this class, I'm sure some of you said, wow, cool, leaders of the future. What does this mean? To some of you, it meant to focus on a new generation, a new cadre of folks to help them take on leadership roles. Perhaps some of you looked at the course and thought, it's me and developing myself as a leader. Some of you also looked at it and said, how do I develop others to develop other leaders of the future? And in fact, it's all three of those at the same time. So yes, absolutely, every one of those is correct. And some of you are in education, some in business, some in government, some in private industry. Whatever the course is, your work is developing leaders. And as you replicate your successes, how do those successes translate to other people so that they are successful, and also they are successful in helping other people become successful? Now, the approach that we used in this course is the transformational approach. And of course, this is just one of many approaches that we've used, one of many perspectives on leadership development. And the main thing was from the main approach was from Kouzes and Posner's The Leadership Challenge book. And you remember the 5 tenets that we focused on: model the way, inspire a shared vision, challenge the process, enable others to act, and encourage the heart. There, of course, are other approaches as well, such as situational leadership theory, leader-member exchange, and even adaptive approaches. So all of them are correct and are great approaches, and each have their own nuances and challenges. So you as a leader have to decide what works best in your context and apply that. And so transformational is one of the most popular approaches. It's one that I personally have an affinity for, but it's a great approach. But that's not saying that these other ones don't work as well. Now, what we're going to focus on here is your paper. It is, again, due this Sunday on or before 11:59 Pacific time. And what it is a action plan. Don't self-plagiarize, meaning don't, copy previous work. I want you to think of an action plan for an organization. This is based on your previous paper's ideas. So you want to think of it as 2 parts, and I'll have this on the next slide. But the whole focus of this paper is a plan. Essentially, how are you going to make this happen? How are you going to execute your leadership development plan? Now, I shared this with you on the previous video, and what it is, it's just this construct about leadership and planning. And again, don't forget to download the rubric. I'll cover the rubric here next, but think of it as you've developed your plan, translating it, operations, executing, and monitoring. This is going to be really the focus 3, 4, and 5. How are you going to define the plan? What are you going to do to actually execute it? And how are you going to know when you get there? So let's go specifically at the paper. I've taken the grading rubric, and again, I encourage you to download that and use that as you write. In fact, the simple way to do it is just have a heading for each of those points on there. But the first point is an introduction and description of the organization or setting. My encouragement to you is I want you to be clear. I want you to state the mission, vision, the stakeholders, the demographics, so that anybody who picks up this paper can understand the organization. Second point, a discussion of the current state of leadership development efforts. You want to clearly describe what is going on in this organization in terms of their leadership development efforts. If it's nascent, if it's robust, I want you to put a lot of detail in, and again, paint a clear picture for me, and not just me, for any reader of your paper, what is going on in terms of the leadership development efforts at this organization. Okay, second point. Now the third point, which is really the focus, this is your plan itself. I want you to, as the rubric states, a leadership development action plan based on research with specific actions, resources needed, timelines including a table, and how the plan develops global and diverse leaders. There's a lot in that one. A really good tip for you is put a table, an APA formatted table. I would like to see alignment, meaning that I want to ensure that your plan of action is aligned with what the needs of the organization is. How does what their needs are and what their current development efforts flow into your leadership development plan? Whether it does or doesn't, I want it to state that. It has to be clear and compelling, and also I want it to be realistic, meaning that this is great if you had, lots of resources and lots of money, but I want this to be realistic. Okay? Think of yourself as a leadership consultant coming into this organization and saying, here is my plan of action based on what I see. Here is step 1, 2, and 3 in order to get there. Now, the fourth point is a discussion of the factors that will help the successful execution of the plan. I want you to think of your previous discussions these past few weeks that we've been having and give detailed reasons why or why not this plan will be successful, whether those are the factors that will help the plan be successful or have the barriers. What barriers have you encountered or would you encounter, and how do you overcome those barriers? Now, finally, tie it all together and put it in APA style. Here's some other tips for success. During the plan section, I want you to think about what it means to develop global and diverse leaders. That is, how do you incorporate the diverse perspectives that this organization has? And diversity is met in all constructs, and not just the demographic diversity, but think of diversity in age, diversity in tenure, diversity in geography if this organization is spread throughout different locations. Does that mean, is your plan context bound? Will your development plan work only for one area of the organization, or will it work for all the organization? I want it to work for the entire organization. Another big tip, successful students have written this paper in the past. They have included a table. Table. That's what I want to reinforce. A good plan will have an APA formatted table that has the timelines, that has the resources needed, that has who's responsible. So again, you're the expert on this, you're the consultant, you're coming in and saying, here's step 1, 2, 3, here's the resources that we need, here's the people that are going to do it, and here's the timeline for achieving it. When you mention the barriers, don't just say what those barriers are, but address how you will overcome those barriers. You know what this means. Obviously, APA style, which means a title page, a abstract, your text, and then a reference page. So please have your APA style ready, have your APA book there when you write, and stick to the format. Now, that's it. I want to end with this quote. The best leaders not only inspire us, they develop and empower us to lead with passion from whatever position we currently hold in life. I hope this has been a great class for you. I have enjoyed getting to know each and every one of you. It's been great to hear about your organizations that you've written about, to see your ideas come to action, come into fruition, and I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be on this journey with you. I hope to see you in a future class, but obviously I look forward to reading this paper. So if you have any questions at any time, as always, don't hesitate to contact me, and I look forward to reading the paper. And once again, thanks for being a great class. See you soon.